Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel, and welcome if you're new here. So today we're going to be building in the world that came with the cottage living expansion pack, and I'm building in the lot that's located at the furthest top part of the map. I think it's the house on the hill. It's called Cordelia's Secret Cottage. So basically, my idea for this week's speed build was to build a house that my sim can complete the Reaper's Rewards challenge in. So I'm sure all of us by now has seen it, since it's such a big pop-up in our game. Before you even get to the home menu, it's there. But I actually don't mind it. It's quite a fun thing. I think it's going to be quite cool. I mean, I don't often play with ambrosia, and it seems like that's what it's leading up to. I don't usually use that way to bring my sims back to life, if ever I do, but that's not usually one of the ways I go. So it'll be quite interesting to see how that plays out over the next, I think it's 6 weeks, they said. But yeah, so basically that's my inspiration for this build, with a little plot twist, and we'll get into that the further we get into the video, because there's actually I want to say more of an inspiration for this build, but we'll get into that. So basically, the themes for this build is going to be a bit dark, or at least a bit darker. I think that's where I really thrive. I really like the dark colors in this game, and also I think that just fits my aesthetic better. I do like, obviously, the lighter colors in building for specific seasons in this game, but I really think fall or autumn and winter is where I really come to life in this game. And also I think you get to use packs you don't really use, like a Realm of Magic. I hardly ever use those windows. I think I've used it now twice in this video and the summer cafe that I built. Never used it before, so you'll see it here on the screen now. I think that's quite a cool touch to this home. So this house is basically for a single sim. There's 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, big kitchen, and living room, and then there is a home office as well. So from what I've read, because obviously, like I mentioned, I don't use or create ambrosia often, you need to have the fishing skill, the gourmet cooking skill, and then you need to get this potion or something to get the certain ingredients and stuff that you need from the cooking and the fishing skill that you need to, I want to say, create ambrosia. So I feel like I've built a lot of those aspects into this house, and also the location, because this location for this build is actually where there is a fishing area for your sim, so they don't even have to have a loading screen. And I think right below this is also a fishing area where your sims can go. I don't necessarily know if you can catch angelfish here, or if they even exist in this world, but I guess we'll find out as the Reaper Rewards challenge actually unfolds. Okay, so I promise you guys a plot twist for this video. So essentially, I currently have a sim that is a writer. They've reached the top of their aspiration, they're reaching the top of their career, and my save file theme, I want to say, is that one of the last books that this sim was working on was the biography of Bella Goth, and they became obsessed with Bella Goth. Anything Bella related, they wanted. Somehow telling her life story got them to become this obsessed sim that would do basically anything for Bella. And in my save file, Bella dies mysteriously, and my sim is completely inconsolable about this fact. So they've packed up their, I want to say, townhouse where they've been living. In my save file, they've just given up on the city life. Everything looks a bit dreary because Bella's not there anymore, and they've decided to move to the countryside. But at the same time, there's a hidden agenda as to why they've moved here. Yes, there's the solitude and things like that, and they want to be alone, but they also have recently heard about ambrosia, which can bring us some back to life. So you'll see a lot of themes like the red and the black, which is obviously representing the Goth family and Bella. You'll see a lot of books and things laying around. I know it fits in well with the writer's or the writer career, but also I think because my sim will be doing a lot of research on ambrosia, it fits in nicely with that also. But I think the part that I'm most interested in is the basement in this game, which is kept well hidden, I think, for a reason. But we'll get to that part of the video, then I'll explain a bit more there. So basically, that is my idea for this speed build, that I have a sim who loves solitude and is completely obsessed with Bella Goth. I've also noticed that there's this theme running through this, I want to say, the latest kit that came out, but not just that, somewhere in the Reaper's Rewards also, it seems to be relating to Bella. I don't know why or what the new obsession with Bella is, but I've noticed that now, and I don't know if that's on purpose or if she's going to play a role in the new expansion pack that's going to come out at the end of October. So I'm excited to see how that's going to play out. But yeah, here we are, just finishing off the living room now. We're going to be moving on to the kitchen. So basically, I know you need to have the gourmet skill to be able to develop or create ambrosia, but I feel like I hardly ever develop that skill, so I wanted to give myself almost like an incentive to actually do that. I'm not using the best stove or the highest quality stove, I know, but I think that this stove actually fits the look and the type of aesthetic that I'm actually going for in this. Maybe I'll swap it out as I get further into the gameplay with this, but yeah, I put that in there for now. But yeah, you'll see the themes of like red and black coming through here. Also, this wallpaper is from the Vampires pack. I didn't actually know there's like this shimmer, like you'll see as the camera moves, there's a shimmer on the wallpaper which reveals like this hologram. I don't know if hologram is the right word, but it's like a shimmering effect on the walls, and it has this decorative, I don't think decorative is the right word, like a symbol or something on it. And I thought that was quite a cool touch. Like, it's different. It's not all black. It's definitely different, but I actually like it. I think it came through quite nicely in this pack. So we're gonna almost be finishing the kitchen at this point, but I also wanted to create something different here because I have this open space, so I ended up turning it into a pantry. Your Sims can't really use it. I mean, they don't use that that storage thing in there. That's from Dine Out if you're interested. But I just thought to put like random stuff in there, like you'll see the storage boxes and things like that, and that's all that's basically gone in there. You can basically make a coffee corner in there if you wanted. That's initially what I thought I was going to do, but I don't really play with those items much, so I thought against it. But yeah, so I've also used the vase from the artist kit. I think also because it runs along the theme of life and death. The flowers, the petals are actually dying. That's why all the flowers are dying, and that's why the petals are laying next to the vase. So I thought that was quite a cool theme. My sim is not really, like, I want to say, bothered by such things, but I thought it's a nice touch. So here we are coming into the bathroom, and I think this is my favorite room in this whole house. I think it's minimal, but I think it does the job for what I wanted. So I've searched a lot of like gothic bathrooms and stuff like that on Pinterest, and I think the themes are basically black, green and red. So I think that comes through nicely. It's very minimal. I think it's a clawfoot bathtub or claw something bathtub that gets used here. And I actually don't use bathtubs often in The Sims. I prefer my sim to shower. It just saves more time. But I think for this sim, because they want to be alone, because they want to be isolated, like taking long baths will not be a problem for them. So yeah, we're just gonna come in and finish the bathroom at this point. You'll see I put candles on. It gives a very relaxing type of energy. I've also put in a red mat. I think that ties the colors nicely in this bathroom together and just the theme of the house in general. You also see how these Realm of Magic windows actually come through in this room. I think it looks quite cool. And then I just added this random painting here. I don't know why, it just seemed to work for me. If you don't like it, you can obviously remove it. So here we're coming into the bedroom now, once again carrying on our theme of red and black. I didn't want to make this too cluttered, I want to say. I don't think there's much I could have added in here because this is not really the focus. My sim is literally just going to be sleeping here. There's nothing else that they're going to be doing. But because my sim is a writer, I thought, let me put a fireplace in there, and then maybe some books and stuff that they can read while they're sitting by the fire, so they don't have to actually go downstairs. And obviously in the winter months, I didn't put a thermostat in here, but the fire would be nice for when it's winter and your sim has to stay warm. So you see it's very minimal and things like that. The one thing I also wanted to include in here was just one of those spooky paintings. I think it comes with paranormal stuff, but there's also these other, not paranormal. I think there's ones with paranormal and there's ones with a spooky day pack, I think. I can't remember actually, but I wanted to place one of those, so you'll see I placed that. Fun fact about those, I think it's around about 2 a.m. Every day. Those actually change to look more spooky. There's a vampire one, and then there's a what's the other one? A werewolf one as well. So I thought like those are quite cool. And then there's also ones where the Sims in the portrait are actually headless. So I'll link the short that I created last year, and you can actually see it in there. I think that is from Paranormal, but it's fine. You'll see it in the short. So here we're gonna come in to finish the home office. I thought, I know my sim gave up their career and stuff, but that doesn't stop me from still writing books. The themes might be now a bit darker, like you can write mystery novels and you can write fantasy novels. So I like to name my books myself in this game. So the books will be a bit darker, but I think they still need a nice space to go and actually write that. So I also wanted to include the achievements and stuff like that on the wall. It doesn't really matter because the Sims don't do anything with it, but I thought it was quite a nice touch. And also there's a big check that you can put on. I think it comes with the Get Famous pack. I put that on the wall. I just felt like it fit there. This is the other thing I wanted to say. I also wanted to include the gemology bench that came with the Crystal Creations stuff pack. No one talks about that pack anymore, and I think like that's a shame, because I think there's so much cool gameplay features from there, because there you can also you can basically make your sim immortal, or even gift the gift of immortality to someone else when you find that stone. I think it's called something black something stone, that you can basically use that gem and put that in the item that you're creating, charge it, and then give that to a sim as a gift. So I've done that, and I think I'll link that short also below, and then you guys can check that out. But yeah, I think that's quite a cool pack. So yeah, one other thing, I really wanted to use the this item from the, I think it's the Riviera kit, or not Riviera, the pool kit that came out recently. I thought, with the darker themes with this build, this metal would actually go nice. So we are actually going to be incorporating that in here. It will be nice for a sim to basically sit there, because my sim is a writer, to read books and things like that, and also just do gardening out there. So we are coming in now with the greenhouse. So yeah, I wanted to take I don't like the word minimal because it's not minimal, but I wanted to give myself enough space, and also I wanted to put the flower arranging bench also in here. I like that item, and also I found that you can use that to basically, I want to say unalive Sims, because that sounds wrong, because that feels like the only reason why I put it there. It's one of the reasons, it's not the only reason, because I can also sell those items. So I've included that, and also I've included the bonsai tree because you can gain gardening skill from that. I think it just takes a bit longer if you're not doing like the normal gardening activities in this game. But I mean, if you don't like gardening the normal way, you can use that as well. So I've also furnished a lot of the items, using the items from the greenhouse haven kit that we got earlier. I don't think it's this year, I think it's last year. So that's coming in a lot here. I don't think I've built a greenhouse since that kit came out actually. But also my Sims are not very into gardening. I think it just takes a lot of time and I don't like that specifically, but I think this is a good thing to get back into. There's a lot of features in this game that when you play with different skills and things like that, and also the aspirations that you actually uncover that you didn't know was there. So yeah, I like this item, this fallen over wheelbarrow from Cottage Living. I think it actually came in quite cool in this build. So we finished up our greenhouse and now we're back outside. I think this is going to be the seating area for my Sim, and we're also going to be adding some gardening pots out here and also gardening items just to complete the look for this. So I wanted to create basically an area, like I mentioned, where my Sim can sit and just read, or read whatever. And also because the Sim can basically take a laptop wherever, they can also write their books out here. So I thought that was quite a cool area if you don't want to be in the home office or something, that your Sim can use to basically write books or just be outside. I think one of the other things I did want to put in here is a pond. Yes, my Sim can't use it for water, and putting the buckets there is purely for aesthetic. But if you do play with the off the grid lot challenge and you play in this lot, your Sim can actually, I haven't tested if they can use this pond to get water, but if you go over to the little waterfall area on this lot, they can actually collect water from there. So you won't be without water if you play that lot challenge. But I want to say I've tried it, I don't enjoy it. So here we are gonna come into what is the second plot twist, I want to say. My Sim has I mentioned that my Sim has an obsession with Bella Goth, but now you'll see the real extent of said obsession. So basically what this room is going to turn into is they're basically worshipping Bella Goth at this point. So you'll see the seance table and stuff like that that's there. That's just for aesthetic. You don't need that for the to create ambrosia, or at least I don't think you will, but I've basically put that in there just so, because you can have the ability to commune with the departed. Not to say that will be for Bella, it will be for any Sim, but it's just an aesthetic thing. So in a few seconds you'll see why St. Maxim was like worshipping Bella Goth. I had to go back and actually go into a timeline where Bella wasn't dead, take these items and come back into my game and then put them around here. But yeah, you'll see there's a lot of like research items, I want to say, in the sense that my Sim has down here where they're reading how to create ambrosia and things like that. And this is supposed to be Bella's urn that's here. So here you'll see the photos and stuff that they've actually like placed there and things like that. I've actually taken this with the photo studio. Interesting, I used Mortimer to take those photos. But yeah, I thought that was quite a cool thing that's down there. That's just the level or the extent of obsession that my Sim has. So I didn't want to go too much into the I want to say landscaping, because I find it very tedious to watch. I like to see the end product, because we know when you're placing the items it looks chaotic, but then when you're done it's like, oh, it fits well. So that's really why I've cut out a lot of that footage from this build. But I think it turned out quite cool. It looks a bit like placed everywhere, but I think for this world it actually fits quite nicely. Yeah, I thought, these are a lot of items from debug that I never use and I want to include it in here. Like these flowers in the front of the lot, I didn't know that was there. I think it's quite cool. It's like quite big. It's not too big, it's not too small, it just fits in quite nice with this lot. So here we're gonna come in and we're basically just adding the final touches. I think here, I know I say that focusing around a lot of specific skills, but I also want to give myself the telescope. I mean, I feel like you'll always use that somewhere. If it's not to gain the logic skill, you can spy on your neighbors. You can basically, if you're nosy, you can do that. So just for fun. So I put a notebook out here. I put books that my sim would read and things like that also out here, and just coming in with the red and the black, also just finishing that off. I think basically the last thing I'm placing here is the fairy lights. I know it seems like, why would you put fairy lights in a dark build? For me, fairy lights just make everything better. So I think just bringing that in here, it's quite a nice touch, I want to say. I'm replacing the last bit of gardening pots. I wanted to add actual flowers here because I think it just like looks more realistic. So those would be flowers that my sim has harvested and they're ready to be sold. Technically they can't be, because you can't do that with those flowers, but I thought it's just a nice touch. Now basically the build is done. But thanks so much for watching. If you did make it to the end of this video and went through all my rambling, leave me a comment that says Bella is the best, I guess. But yeah, I'm very excited for this new expansion pack that comes out. I hope it's not going to be a disappointment. I hope we get a lot of like new gameplay features and things like that. And yeah, it will just be very interesting to see how everything plays out. But yeah, till next week. See you guys then. Bye.